Today, we visit one of the most dangerous, one of the most manipulative, one of the most evil books to ever be written. Like, I can't even say that with a straight face, but there is a big misconception with this book, and let me explain exactly why it was written, because when you have this context, I feel like you'll be less apprehensive to picking this book up. And overall, the public perception of this book is that people that read this are manipulative, people that read this are just going to try to take advantage of you, and that is literally not the truth. Like, if you weren't born with the master manipulator skills, this book will not help you. Like, there's so much more to manipulation than just reading the 48 laws of power. You need to understand tone, you need to understand inflection, you need to understand body language, you need to understand, how to be passive and active, and how to imprint ideas in people's brains without them knowing that you did it. Like, there's literally just so much more, and I literally just scratched the surface with it. Like, you probably have to read 100 books in all different categories to actually get good at manipulating people. And that's what sucks, because people see the title, they see the perception, they see the marketing around this book, and they don't pick it up. And the truth is, Robert Greene wrote this book in order to prevent people from being manipulated. Like, he literally says, I think, only a handful of laws in this book. I think he said maybe 5, maybe 3, something minuscule. He said that only a few laws in the book are actually manipulative. Only a few of them are outwardly deceptive. And the vast majority of the book is avoiding conflict, avoiding being taken advantage of, avoiding being manipulated, because Robert Greene himself always fell victim to this. He always fell victim to people saying, you know what, you're a great person, but I can't give you this role. You worked really hard, but I can't give you this promotion. Like, he was constantly getting passed over for jobs. He was constantly getting fired because he would outshine the master. He would do certain things in a certain manner, and he would inherently upset someone's ego. And the truth is, in this world, we don't only have to deal with our own ego, which, I mean, is very easy to do, because eventually you can just overcome ego when you understand ego is just what society projects on you. Ego is the image that society sees, and we don't have to live up to the expectations of society. We have to live up to our own expectations. That's a whole nother video, but it's dealing with other people's egos. It's dealing with the weakness of other individuals, the weakness of your boss, the weakness of the people around you, of your friends, of your family, of the people that have control and say over your life, and learning how to deal with these people in a manner that doesn't upset their egos. That is the most important skill you can learn. And I mean, just if you really want to learn that, you can read this book. You can read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like, there's a myriad of different approaches. This one just focuses more on the negative. It focuses more on how people are going to approach you, how people are going to start taking advantage of you. And I think it's very useful, because I've always been someone who wore their heart on their sleeves. I've always been someone who would constantly get passed over for roles, would constantly, not live up to the expectations I had for myself, not achieve all that I thought I should, because I was losing the political game. I wasn't being tact. I wasn't being strategic. I would, speak my mind a little too much. I would say a little too much. I would reveal a little too much of my ambition, of what I was aiming for, of my goals. And inherently, when you have big goals, people are going to try to bring you down. People want to see you do good, but not better than them. And this is the whole point of the book: avoiding the egos of other people, avoiding the ability of other people to bring you down, avoiding all of these things, and really making the most of yourself. And it's really just a masterclass on strategy throughout the greatest minds in history. It cites generals, it cites politicians, it cites musicians, artists. It really just cites people that have gone out there and have done extraordinary things, and how they either succumb to a certain vice, succumb to a certain strategy, a certain just law of human nature, some sort of predicament. And it's also people who succeeded with certain approaches, certain methods. And I'll go through a few of the laws just to, if you haven't read it, inspire you to pick it up, because I think overall the perception kind of makes this book not as popular as it should be. Like, it's polarizing, but it's not polarizing for the right reason. It's polarizing because people think it's going to make you some mastermind, devious, devilish individual, but at the same time, it's really just going to teach you how to avoid these type of people, because the truth is, knowledge is never bad. The application of the knowledge is what can become bad. Like, it's never bad to learn about the devil. When you learn about the devil, you learn he can only influence you to do certain things. He can't force you to do certain things. It's of your own volition. So, like, when you learn this, you're like, you know what? if I just keep my mind positive, if I just keep my mind strong, the devil can't affect me. And it's like, this is one of the biggest examples of people being afraid of information that could benefit them. And this book is a perfect example of something like that. And we can start really easy with the first law: never outshine the master. This law is just saying, if you are in a subordinate position, if you are in some way subjected to someone else having control of your paycheck, control of your life, control of you in any other way, it's never a good idea to outshine them. It's never a good idea to make them feel insecure, make them feel weak, make them feel like they're not good enough, because this person can, fire you. This person can some way control you, and it puts you in a situation that you don't want to be. So whenever you're receiving some sort of praise, always find a way to give them some sort of credit. Always find a way to, in some way, inspire them, in some way lift them up, in some way ensure that they were the reason why you did what you did. And it sucks, but at the same time, it makes so much sense why we all get passed over for opportunities, because the people ahead of us, the people above us, they don't want to see you do better than them. They want their position. They want to feel justified. In every single business, the manager does not feel like they're doing enough because they're not on the floor. The manager has a very important position, but inherently they feel like they're not doing any work because they're just overseeing people. And if people do their work, if people are doing their work on time, then it feels like they don't have any role. But the manager is there for when people are not doing their work. So like, if you're outshining them, if you're in some way doing great work, the manager always feels insecure. And it's like, we need to understand this balance. We need to understand this juxtaposition and ensure that we're always giving credit to the master. Another one, always say less than necessary. This is quite ironic because of what I'm doing right now, but this is a very good rule, because the more we say, the less meaning it has. The people of few words, the people who don't say much, are always the most insightful people. And there's a few drawbacks to this law, particularly like if you're very good at communicating. Like, I would never tell Barack Obama to not speak because he's such a good speaker. I would never tell Donald Trump to not speak because that's literally what won him the election. Like, there's certain individuals where they speak more and they can garner more attention just because of their mastery of diction, their mastery of, compelling people through speech and really inspiring people to, just love what they're saying. So I would never really say for that, but for most people, especially in a work setting, it's never good to give too much of yourself. It's never good to tell your boss absolutely everything you did during the weekend. It's never good to reveal every single detail to your parents of what you did while you were at college. Like, always saying less than necessary and allowing people to fill in the gaps, it almost allows for the mind to create a more fantastical image of who you are. Like, this is one of the things that the game guys, the pickup artists, they'll say. It's like, you wanna leave out details so that the girl, while you're talking to her, she's starting to like fill it in with much more interesting things. And it really is like, not necessarily manipulative, but it just plays to the fantastical element of the mind. And it's always a good idea to say less than you really need to, because let's just say that, the mind has a funny way of making people seem a lot better than they really are. Another one, do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. This is a very, very important law. This is not just in terms of strategy, but this is just in terms of general life advice. Like, we've all heard the saying, it takes a village. We all heard the saying that, you can't do it alone. Like, every single person that was successful, even if there's not people that you can clearly point to got them to that level, it's just like the overall support system, the overall people that are backing them, the people that are, paying for their bills when they're first starting out, the people that are supporting them very early on. Like, we can never do anything alone. Every great accomplishment is derived from the collaboration of people, and maybe it's given credit to a singular individual because they did a lot of the work, but the truth is, like, when you close yourself off, when you don't let other people help you, when you don't let people around you, take some load off your shoulders, like, you'll never be able to accomplish all you should. And again, all of these laws, have any of these seemed manipulative? Maybe a little bit. Maybe they can be used in a little bit of an unethical way, but at the same time, I think these laws have a much more positive spin, a much more positive benefit than you've really heard. And that's the beauty of this book. Like, it's merely just information and you can apply it how you want. That's how the whole book is structured. Like, Robert Greene just gives examples, he explains their application, and then he gives you suggestions on how to start applying it into your life, because the bottom line is, like, this information does nothing unless you apply it. It does nothing if you start to think about it and start to, understand and start to recognize the signs, and then you know how to be better next time. Like, that's the whole point of the book. The whole point of the book is to recognize these things, and for the next time, you know how to deal with it. You know how to deal with it strategically. You're not going to burn a bridge because, you're a little bit insecure. You're going to allow the other person to, expose their intentions. Like, there's all these other things, and we'll go through a few more just for the sake of I'm having fun doing this, and if you're already here, you probably want to hear me do more of these. And real quick before I go into a new one, like, very, very soon I'm going to go through all of these laws live, and I'm going to get feedback from you guys. I think we're going to come up with examples. I think it's going to be fun to do it interactive, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, on to the next one. Play to people's fantasies. This is very similar to what I was saying in the say less than necessary, but it's always good to play to the fantastical element. It's always good to build up these imaginary enemies and say it's us versus them. And like, think of what was done during the election. Like, for the right, for the Republicans, they were saying, like, we need to take back our country. These people are destroying our nation. And, like, in essence, it's all the politicians, because all the politicians pretty much carry the same opinions. They basically just carry out the interests of their donors, the interests of these PACs, the interests of these lobbyists, but they were able to paint it in a way that the Republicans are the one trying to help you. And it's the same thing for the Democrats. The Democrats were able to say, oh my God, look at Trump. Look at all the things he's saying. He's this, he's that. They're labeling him as a 1940s dictator. Like, it's really insane. And it's just like, if the Democrats really want to go this route, we can also point to FDR and point to what happened in 1942 with the Japanese American, civilians. Like FDR court packed to get his things across. Like, if there's anything called tyrannical president, I think it would be considered FDR. But it's like, these people were able to stir up such a fantasy that people are literally just going nuts. Like, look at all the reactions on Twitter. Look at all the reactions on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. Like, whatever platform it is, there's someone complaining about the election. There's someone complaining that this country is going to go to shit, and it's literally just a fantasy. It's literally just to force people to go out and vote. And guess what? Whoever got elected, the interests of the people wouldn't be represented. The interests of the populace wouldn't be represented. But because they played to the fantasies, people feel like they have this illusion that something's going to be different, this illusion that something's going to change. Maybe it does, but I'm very doubtful. I'm very pessimistic about this, and it's really interesting to see these laws be used in terms of political, in terms of socioeconomic, and all of these other things that really go into the way the government works. Law 28, enter action with boldness. This is a very important one. Again, which one of these laws has been manipulative? I know I just picked at random, but none of these laws are extremely inherently manipulative. They can be used for good. They can be used for benefit. They can be used to better articulate your message, to better express your ideas to other people. And this is the last one I'll go over because they're 2 minutes in right now, and I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm starting to get tired. But entering action with boldness is always the best option. It's never good to go in passively. It's never good to, I wrestle, I train MMA. If I shoot a shot and I go half-ass, I'm not going to get that takedown. But if I shoot it 100%, there's a chance that guy's not going to be able to defend it in time. There's a chance that if I just go quick enough, hard enough, and strong enough, pause, there's a chance that I'm just going to get it. No matter how good the wrestler is, if I'm strong enough, if I'm fast enough, it doesn't matter how good their defense is, because I committed, I overcommitted. And this is what we have to do. Like, when we want to change something, it's never good to go in with the, oh wait, I'm gonna go in foot by foot. I'm gonna inch my way into this pool. I'm gonna put my toes in, and then I'll be at my knees, then I'll be at my hips. Like, that's not the best way to get things done. The best way to get things done is just to pour all of your energy into it. Go for it 100% and then reevaluate it, because always, whenever you're in some sort of conflict, whenever you're going after something, it's always good to give your best shot. It's always good to put in your full effort and see if you're really good enough or if you're not. And for this reason, I love this book. For this reason, I suggest you read this book. And hopefully I prove to you through this video that this book is not evil. This book is not manipulative. This book is not something that should be avoided because it has bad messages. It should be something that should be read so you can avoid evil. Something that should be read so that you can avoid manipulation. And it really has a bad name simply just because of the title, simply because of the marketing, because it's banned in the Oregon prison system. Like, it's really just clever marketing. It's really just something that, you know, they played up for the sake of selling more books, getting more recognition, getting more notoriety. But I think it has turned off a few readers simply because they don't want to, you know, actively force people into do certain things. They don't want to manipulate. They don't like these words. They don't like these ideas. And the truth is, it's all about the application. It's all about how you use it. And if you use it for good, it's a useful book. Go ahead, pick this up. I'll leave a link to this in the description. If you want more from me, go ahead, join my school. It's completely free right now. Join my Discord. We talk about books like this. We talk about other ideas. Just a fun place to, you know, go hang out and push positivity. But yeah, love all you guys. Thank you all for the support. I think this video is going to really blow up. So if you're just finding me, consider subscribing. Consider, you know, checking out the rest of my stuff. And, you know, maybe join the live stream where I'm going over all of these live. Love all you guys. Peace out. See you in the next one.